It's here, okay? I am very excited for this unboxing, and I am very, very excited because this right here is a special phone. And I know what you guys are thinking. If you watch our unboxing videos, I'm sorry, you guys know that I say both of those things a lot. But in this particular case, it's slightly more valid than the other times I've said it. This is the OnePlus 6T. It's the first phone to arrive in the United States with an in-display fingerprint scanner. Now, I know that there's this big shift in the smartphone market of using notches and using facial unlocks or using the traditional fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone, but OnePlus has finally thought to themselves that the in-display fingerprint sensor is now fast enough that they can incorporate it on their flagship devices. Now, we're going to get this unboxed, and we're going to go through first impressions. And let's be honest, right guys? The first impressions are basically just going to cover how well that in-display fingerprint sensor works. So, typical OnePlus fashion, there's nothing once you open the box except the phone, and that phone is nicely cradled in there with a little pull tab that helps you take it out safely. Now, I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can actually. I have the Midnight Black version. This is going to be that soft matte finish. It's going to attract less fingerprints, and in my opinion, just looks a little bit better than the Mirror Black. That one's a little too glossy for me. And on the front, you have that sticker that shows you how you're going to be, or one of the many ways you can unlock this phone. So let's set that here to the side, and let's find out what else is in here. So the actual tray that holds the phone is pretty thick, but that's because it houses your booklet, which, wow, this is actually a thick booklet, and your clear case. So there's two things that OnePlus does in all of their phones that ship straight from their factory that I really appreciate. One, they include a screen protector pre-installed, and two, they include a free case. Are either of them going to be really, really good quality? No. If you want the best quality, you should probably spend on some of their accessories, but there aren't too many companies that will include free accessories like that in the box and charge you the same exact price that OnePlus charges you. So we have your standard booklet information and stuff in here. This particular piece of paper looks a little special, so we're going to hang on to this one. And underneath everything, you have your ginormous, and yes, I do use the term ginormous, dash charging brick, which is still the fastest wire charging solution on the market, and the trademark OnePlus Red USB-A to USB-C cable. Oh, and something new in the box this year. Underneath the cable, you have your USB-C to 3.5mm headphone jack dongle, because OnePlus has cut out the headphone jack on this phone. But they didn't pull an Apple this year. They gave you the dongle that you need to use to make your traditional headphones work. I like it. I've made a mess. Let me clear some of this up. All right, so we've got the phone, and we've got an invitation letter, a word from Pete, OnePlus's CEO. Ooh, I wanted to turn it around to show you guys this. Look at this. That's pretty cool. Friend, wow, this is difficult to read. Let me be the first to welcome you to the OnePlus community. Like you, we are driven by a passion for technology. What sets our tech apart is that we imagine, build, and polish it hand in hand with you. I promise, guys, I can read, but look at that text. Look at that text. That's a little difficult to read. I'm sorry, look. We believe your feedback moves us forward. By talking to us online, on our forums, and in person at our meetups, you can play a role in the development and improvement of our products. We hope you'll think of the OnePlus 6T as more than just a phone. Approach it with curious eyes, and we're sure you'll notice some of the many subtle improvements we made to make this our best flagship yet. Your enthusiasm inspires us to never compromise on our values. We are OnePlus. Thank you for making a difference. Never settle, Pete. That's a nice touch. You don't really find too many personable things inside a phone's packaging these days. So we're going to get this powered on, we're going to get this set up, and we're going to take a look at how well that in-display fingerprint sensor works. Give me like a second. So the beauty of this phone is that it's really similar to the OnePlus 6 with some small differences, and I can already notice them just using the phone for, I don't know, 30 seconds. Two things just on the display. Obviously, you have that teardrop notch, which is now much smaller than the standard notch that you found on the OnePlus 6. There is one omission that helps make that notch that small. No notification LED light anymore. So if you really enjoyed seeing a blinking light that changes colors depending on what notification you got, you're not going to get that anymore. The actual receiver is now kind of built into the far top of the display over the selfie camera. And this chin on the bottom is also smaller. But you guys aren't here to see that, right? You're here to see how well that fingerprint scanner in the display actually works. So I have it set up, and I only have one thumbprint set up right now. So I don't have multiple thumbprints, but when you go through to set up the process, it does ask you to rest your thumb on the screen multiple times. And then once it gets a couple good readings of your thumbprint, it'll ask you to do edge input, so it gets a more complete understanding of your fingerprint. OnePlus makes this technology possible by basically illuminating the display to its maximum volume, and that light that shines on your thumbprint essentially helps the phone recognize whether or not it's your thumbprint or someone else's. It works pretty quick. OnePlus said that it works in like 0.34 seconds, and the previous fingerprint sensor that was on the back of the phone was like 0.2 seconds. So you're probably not going to notice too much of a difference. Obviously, having the fingerprint sensor on the back is still going to be faster, but having it built into the display, in my opinion, one, looks a lot cooler in terms of hardware design. The back just kind of looks more uniform and flush now. And two, it's just something to brag about, right? Like, there aren't too many phones on the market right now that have an in-display fingerprint sensor, and this phone doesn't cost very much money. So yeah, in-display fingerprint sensor works really well. That animation is really corny though. Like the phone itself feels super premium. That animation is not premium. So I'm really hoping there's a way to actually turn that off, but I'll touch on so many more details once I finish up the review on this phone. So that just about does it. This is our unboxing and first impressions of the Midnight Black OnePlus 6T and that in-display fingerprint sensor. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. It's getting a little late. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!